I got some good news for everybody, guys. It is not at all an overstatement to point out that Democratic governors are leading the way with how to be based in the year of our Lord 2023. Democratic governors have genuinely surprised me and impressed me with how much they've been leaning in to doing positive policies and getting them implemented, getting them passed and implemented. So we've discussed what's going on in Minnesota with Tim Walz. By the way, Crystal and I were talking about this the other day. We would love to get Tim Walz on Crystal Kyle and Friends because he has provided a blueprint as to how to defeat the right and help your constituents. Okay, we'd love to get him on there. We don't have a line to him, but we're trying to figure out a way to do that. But so in Minnesota, with Governor Tim Walz, with a one-seat majority, Democrats got free school meals, legal weed, carbon-free electricity by the year 2040, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300. That's for everybody who makes $150,000 a year or less. 12 weeks paid family leave, 12 weeks paid sick leave. They banned conversion therapy. They did red flag laws for guns. They did universal background checks for guns. They did automatic voter registration. They did free public college for everybody that makes under $80,000 a year. They banned what's called PFAs, which are the forever chemicals. They did a $2.2 billion increase in K-12 school funding. And they did sectoral bargaining for nursing home workers, which is going to massively raise the pay of these very hardworking people. Okay? That's amazing. That is genuinely amazing. In fact, whenever we talk about the positives today, the first place I go is what's happening at the state level with some of these Democrats. Another great example, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers. He, using a budgetary trick, they not only have a line item veto in Wisconsin, they also have like a digit veto. He managed to increase public school funding for the next 400 years. He did that. These are Democrats with backbone and vision. That's what this is. And then at the same time, you have what? Well, in the red states, they're rolling back child labor laws. In the red states, they're doing these things called Death Star laws, which basically nullifies any city laws and local laws, which might be like pro-worker or pro-environment. That's the state stepping in and saying, all of your environmental protection laws are null and void. All of your labor protections are null and void. The classic example is what's happening in Texas, where the state has now banned water breaks for people working in extreme heat. They've overridden like local rules and laws on that front. I mean, there could not be more different what's happening at the state level on the Democratic side versus the Republican side. It could not be more different. There's, I believe, 9 states, Democratic states, that are doing universal free school meals. Just amazing. Well, now I got another great thing to share with you. So Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who, by the way, is super based, very similar to John Fetterman, he is doing automatic voter registration. So here's what they say in Penn Live. Governor Josh Shapiro on Tuesday announced that Pennsylvania will become the 24th state to implement automatic voter registration. In an interview on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Joe Shapiro said everyone who goes to the Department of Motor Vehicles to get a new or renewed driver's license will be automatically registered to vote unless the individual chooses to opt out. Quote, it's a safe, secure, streamlined way to get them to register and participate in our democracy, said Shapiro, speaking on National Voter Registration Day. Shapiro said there are 1.7 million Pennsylvanians who are eligible to vote but are not registered. He said Secretary of State Al Schmidt estimated there would be tens of thousands of new registrants in the first year. Shapiro said he has spent his career fighting for the right to vote and that he was proud to fulfill a campaign promise. There are 8.6 million registered voters in Pennsylvania, according to information from the Department of State. More than 10 million Pennsylvanians out of 13 million total are at least 18 years old. The minimum legal age to vote, according to U.S. Census figures, states have been required to offer voter registration at driver's licenses centers since Congress passed the National Voter Registration Act in 1993. A 2021 study by researchers from the Public Policy Institute of California, University of Southern California, and University of California, Berkeley found that automatic voter registration increased registration in states where it was in effect and boosted the number of people actually voting by more than 1%, which is a big, raw number. So this is great. This is great. Now compare this. What are the Republicans doing? The exact opposite. Let's try to get some restrictions on the right to vote. Let's try to do some voter ID-like system, which would disenfranchise a number of poor people in various minority communities. Guys, it's night and day, man. It's night and day. And again, this is super based from Governor Shapiro, and it's the Democratic governors who are truly leading the way. By the way, at the same time, all these Democratic states are doing free school meals for kids. In some instances, it's both breakfast and lunch. Some states it's just lunch, but many it's breakfast and lunch. The Republican Study Committee, which is basically 3/4 of the House Republicans in Washington, one of their top priorities is to ban any state from doing free school meals for kids. Like, you can't make this stuff up. That is like flat out evil. That's just evil. Like, as the Democratic states are like, let's do free school meals for kids, the Republican states are like, let's block anybody and everybody from doing free school meals for kids. Not even like, hey, in our red states, we don't want to do it. It's like, we also want to block the blue states from doing it. Astonishing, man. Astonishing. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.